I'm Trish. Today I want to talk about how I got fat. Now the easy, somewhat smart-ass answer to that is that I was eating more calories than I was able to burn. That's obvious. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows if you eat more and you don't exercise enough, you're going to gain weight. And I don't want to sit here and make excuses for why I got fat. I made all my own choices. But I do think that there were factors throughout my life that contributed to me gaining weight. The obvious ones, like I still do struggle with depression, but I went through periods of unbelievable depression, and I'm talking for years at a time. Shitty relationship after shitty relationship, men going from one extreme to the other, men telling me that I was fat and disgusting and ugly and repulsive, to other men wanting me to be fat, going off me when I lost weight. That was a good one. I guess I should just... This is really hard for me, and I guess it's hard for a lot of people as well, to sit down and take stock of exactly why they've put so much weight on. You've got to be honest with yourself, because unless you can dissect your life and look at why you are eating more than you need and why you maybe don't want to exercise, you're not really going to get anywhere. When I was a kid, I was a normal kid. Family thought it was pretty funny to call me fat bum and tell me I had fat legs, fat arms. That was a ripper. So growing up as just a normal sized kid, being told those things, it gets in your head. And, so by the time I got to my early teens, I just felt like a lard ass, and I wasn't. I was tall, I was broad, but I certainly was not fat. So the dieting started. I had a red hot go at anorexia, failed at that. And my mum was always dieting, and when I was a teenager, she was on some medication for only a very short amount of time, but she just blew up. She put on so much weight that she must have gone up to like a size 26, and prior to that she'd only been about a size 12. So I saw her struggling with that, and as soon as she stopped taking the medication, the weight came off. But that was really hard to see her going through that. Saw my mum dieting all the time. I was always dieting, and so I started that yo-yo of dieting, losing weight, stop diet, put the weight on, put some more on. But even so, by the time I was 17 and I left school and I was working and I had a boyfriend, I was a normal weight. I would have been at the upper range of the normal, normal BMI. I think the most I got up to when I was with him was probably about 75, and I was 5'9", so I was certainly not overweight. But he used to get into me, telling me I was, fat and disgusting and stupid and ugly and everything. He did me a big favour and left me. And then I was with a bloke who just, he didn't care. He just got fat with me, and I gained quite a lot of weight when I was with him. I think I gained probably about 25 kilos. And he put on a lot of weight as well. But when I look back, when we didn't need to, we went and did the Atkins diet. And this would have been early 90s, and the Atkins diet was all the big rage then. And we did that, and we lost some weight, and then I just packed the weight on, as you do, because I stopped the Atkins diet. Weight goes on more, and I got up to, I think it was 99 kilos, or I might have even hit 100, I can't remember. But I do remember going out and buying jeans, and I had to buy, I think it was size 20 jeans, and it just, that was like, you know, that was it for me. So I went to Jenny Craig, lost 25 kilos, yay me. Broke up with that boyfriend, fiance, whatever, and you know, over time slowly regained about 10 kilos of that, went back up to about 85 kilos, and then, you know, before I knew it I was with someone else and pregnant, and as I got bigger and bigger and more pregnant, and, you know, as you do, you know, when you're pregnant, yeah, you know, you get a bit fat. He just went off me, and then I spent way too long with him, way too long being told, being likened to a piece of meat with fat on it, and he just wouldn't come near me, and he said it was because he was repulsed by fat, you know, whether it was fat on a person or fat on a piece of meat. He didn't like fat. And at the same time, he would, you know, you hear people talking about enablers or feeders. He would go out, you know, while he's, you know, bitching at me because I'm trying to lose weight, and, you know, he's come home and his dinner's not on the table because I've been out walking, or, you know, bitching at me because, oh my God, do we have to eat salad all the time? I was trying to lose weight so that he would find me attractive and acceptable. You know, I was trying to save our relationship by being what he wanted me to be, and that was, you know, like this hot, skinny girl. He would go out and buy chocolate and, you know, coffee scrolls and just all this shitty junk food, and, you know, be always, oh, you know, do you want a glass of port with your chocolate, and, you know, all these things. You know, the shitty relationships where men were, you know, just treating me disgustingly because they said I was fat, or, you know, and one of them, I was 63 kilos and he was calling me fat. I chose to stay in those relationships. I shouldn't have. Now, knowing what I know now and having grown as a person, I wouldn't put up with that shit. Not for a second. But back then I was, you know, I was young, and see, I don't want to make excuses for it, and I don't want to say it was that boyfriend's fault for calling me fat, and then it was that one's fault for, you know, making me feel shit about myself, and it was that one's fault because he used to just eat with me. But, you know, they were all factors, and they all contributed, and I think, particularly with that long relationship I had, where I was just made to feel like, you know, a fat piece of meat, I was very, very depressed, and, you know, when I say very, very depressed, I mean I was suicidal for like a number of years, and so for me to just get through each day alive was a big accomplishment for me. So, you know, plus also, you know, I didn't have enough knowledge about food and nutrition, you know, other than what they taught us in high school, you know, the food pyramid. But I never thought to sit down and learn about anything. And, you know, we didn't have the internet back then either. You know, I didn't get the internet until 1999. You know, we've got it at our fingertips now. You can just, you know, plug in anything, you know, just type in, you can be sitting there and be thinking, oh, I wonder how much fiber's in this avocado. And you just go and type it in, fibre in avocado, and it pops up. You don't even need to click on anything. It just comes up with how much fibre per 100 grams of avocados. I didn't know anything about protein. I didn't know anything about fibre. I didn't know anything about processed foods. I knew nothing about sugar. I didn't read any nutrition labels at all. I didn't look at any of the ingredients. I lived on Diet Coke and soft drinks and packaged food. I just ate so much shit. And, you know, I used to tell myself, oh, you know, it's alright, I don't, you know, it's okay to eat crap a little bit, you know, it's okay to have crap, you know, every now and then, a little bit of crap here and there won't hurt me. But the truth is, I was having crap You know, my occasionally eating crap was every day, pretty much every day. And I just thought, well, you know, I'm having fruit with it, and I'm having veggies, and I'm eating meat, and I'm eating bread and rice and everything, so, you know, it's okay. I've got a good diet. And I used to actually say this to people. I used to say, oh, I don't know why I'm fat. You know, my diet's really good. You know, I eat a bit of crap on top of it, but my diet's good. It doesn't matter how good your diet is. If you eat too much crap on top of it, you're not doing yourself any favours at all. And I eat crap now, but it is genuinely a special treat, and I don't do it all the time, you know. I've heard a lot of people, you know, like a lot of really overweight people talk about binging. I never really did that, and I have given this a lot of thought, because I thought, you know, how did I get so overweight without binging? How did that happen? And I think I must have just eaten like really big portion sizes, like all the time. That was like my normal meal, just to, you know, just get this, you know, big dinner plate and just pile it high with food. It was, I don't know how I even put all that food into my body. It was, so, you know, my portion sizes were massive, like all the time, just massive. Like now, if I have, just say I have porridge, I'll make it with a quarter cup of oats, and then, you know, I just put fruit and nuts in it, whatever. But when I was big, if I had porridge, I would have at least half a cup of oats, sometimes even more, I think. I'm just phenomenal amounts of porridge. So I was eating at least twice as much, and I was using, you know, like full cream milk in it, and just putting like heaps of sugar, brown sugar, just like probably 4 or 5 big spoons of brown sugar. It was horrendous. I don't know how I didn't get diabetes. But, you know, I was never able to binge. Like, you know, I've read a lot of other people's stories, and read a lot of watched a lot of YouTube videos and stuff. And people talk about their binging, like as in eating a whole loaf of bread and whole tubs of ice cream and whole cakes and just these phenomenal amounts of food. And I think, I never did that. How did I get so big? I never did that binging. So I think with me it must have just been the massive portion sizes, but like constantly. I was never really a fan of exercise. You know, when I was much younger, I wasn't a sporty kid. I was always really unco. Never really been able to catch a ball. If you threw a ball at me now, I'd probably just cover my face. I'm terrible. When I was much younger, you know, like in my early 20s, I used to play racquetball and volleyball, and used to do aerobics, and I'd go to the gym, and I was very, very active, you know, out, you know, night clubbing all the time, and, you know, I was probably at my slimmest then. I was around about 70 kilos, but I was so unhealthy. You know, I was really only, you know, I'd eat crap for morning tea, and then I'd have a good lunch. I'd have a really good lunch, but then I'd eat you know, crumpets with cheese on them for dinner, if I had dinner. And I was smoking, I was drinking a lot, I was just, you know, going out and just being crazy, as you do when you're that age. So I was a good weight, but I was not healthy, absolutely was not healthy. But yeah, I never really got into exercise beyond my early 20s. I used to like walking, but I have a lot of problem with plantar fasciitis, which is in your feet, makes your feet ache, and shin splints. So as much as I loved getting up at, you know, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and going for a walk, and I'm not even being sarcastic, I used to love doing that, but I was never able to maintain it for very long because I get shin splints and the plantar fasciitis, and I would just be in agony walking. I can't walk on concrete. I walk at the gym, walk on the treadmill, no problem. Love doing that. I used to go and swim laps. I did that for a while until I hurt my shoulder. But I wasn't losing any weight doing that, because I was still eating like a beast. But I was very resistant to exercise. People used to say to me, just find an exercise that you like to do and do that. And I used to sit there and I used to think, but I don't like doing anything. I don't like doing anything. I like walking, but I can't walk because it hurts. I like swimming, but I can't do that now because I hurt my shoulder. So, what I did do a lot was make excuses. I used to make excuses all the time. And I think that's why a lot of us get fat. It's very easy to go, oh, well. And like I did, about just over a week and a half ago, I hurt my shoulder. And I've actually got problems with my shoulder. I've got a torn tendon in there. And some bright spark surgeon actually did surgery on my shoulder but didn't fix it. This is what happens when you're a really big girl. They don't think it's worth it to fix you because, what am I going to do? Go home and lay on the couch and eat McDonald's and watch telly? So, yeah, so I re-injured my shoulder about a week and a half ago, and it's been quite sore. It's still a little bit sore. Now, in the olden days, I would have gone, oh, I've hurt my shoulder, I better not go to the gym. It's probably going to take about 6 weeks to get better. I just won't go to the gym for 6 weeks. That's what old me would have said. Now, I go, well, I've hurt my shoulder. I'm still going to go to the gym because, my legs still work. And my shoulder is sore, but it still works. So I'll just do some gentle stretching with my upper body, and I'll drop the weights down a little bit lower so that I'm still using my muscles and strengthening them up, because I know if I strengthen the muscles, it'll help to hold the tendon in place and everything. Old me wouldn't have done that. I would have just gone, well, I'm going to have some time off the gym. Yeah, I was a big one for making excuses. I can't afford to buy, all those fancy, diet foods. What are diet foods? I don't even know what I was thinking back then. Yeah, a lot of excuses. I don't want to sit here and say and give you any other reason for me gaining weight other than that I ate too much and didn't exercise. But I think we need to look at why I ate too much and why I didn't want to exercise, why exercising wasn't a thing for me. Yeah, basically I think I got fat because I made excuses for myself. I made excuses for myself to eat poorly. I actually became afraid to lose weight because every time I'd go on a diet and I'd lose weight and I'd feel great about myself, and then I'd stop the diet and then I'd regain all that weight that I'd lost and then more. And you just get into that cycle and you get bigger and you get bigger and you get bigger and you just feel worse and worse and worse about yourself. And then I sort of sat up one day and I thought, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep dieting because every time I go on a diet, it's making me fatter. I was, when I had the opportunity to get lap banded, I was terrified. I had to take such a leap of faith that this would be the thing that would work for me, that I would lose the weight and it would stay off forever. And even, to this day, 2.5 years later, and I've been maintaining for almost a year, I am so terrified all the time that that it's all going to go back on again. I mean, it won't. I know what to do now. I know how to nourish my body, and I know that I need to exercise. So now this is one of the most fucked up factors that saw me gain so much weight. In the end, I just bought into other people's opinions of me, and that was that I was just a useless, worthless person because I was fat, and I I would punish myself with food. Initially I didn't even realise I was doing it, you know, but, you know, after a while, I mean, like after years, I realised that I'd be, you know, like just, I hated myself so much, and I go, well, I'm just shit. I'm just shit. Why even try? Why even try anymore? I'm just going to go to McDonald's. I'm going to go to McDonald's and I'm going to get a quarter-pounder meal, and fuck it, I'm going to get a fillet of fish with it as well, and I'm going to go and sit in a dark corner of the car park, and I'm just going to eat it all. I'm going to eat it all, and I'm going to hate myself the whole time I'm eating it. But, you know, I hated myself so much. So I'd do that, you know, that kind of sneaky, hateful, hating myself eating. And I can't tell you how many times I did that, but I can tell you how many quarter pounders and fillet of fishes I have tasted in my life. None, because I would sit there just trying to get that food down and into my body as quickly as possible and just get it over with, because I was just hating myself the whole time I was doing it. It was, what an awful way to be, you know, to hate myself so much that I just wanted to hurt myself. I knew I was making things worse for myself. I knew that I shouldn't have been doing it, and I hated myself doing it, but I did it because I hated myself, and because I didn't feel like I deserved anything better. Now, you know, I don't do that now. I want to put good food in my body. I don't want to, you know, just put crap in. I deserve better than that, but I didn't feel like that back then. I just felt like a shit person who didn't deserve even, you know, like the most basic of things, you know, good food. You know, they were all choices I made. I let all that happen to me. I think losing weight for me is about so much more than just eating better and exercising more. You've got to get your head in the right place as well. My head's not in a perfect place. Probably never will be. I'm a little bit special. But at least I love myself now. I know I deserve, at the very least, good food. So yeah, I thought I'd make this video. Try to be as honest as I can be. And it's hard because, you know, there's a lot of it I don't even know, you know. I can only try to look back and, you know, see just how fucked up I was. Still am. But, you know, I'm working on it. So anyway, I thought I'd make this video because it might help other people to be able to have a look at things that are going on in their life. I don't need to tell you that you eat too much or that you don't exercise enough. You know that. But if you can start to look at some other factors influencing why you eat the wrong foods, not enough of the good foods, if you can have a look, break down your life and some of the choices maybe that you're making, maybe you can have a look, just have a look through your life and see where changes need to be made. Because you've got the power to do that. You really do. You've got to be honest with yourself. And it's hard. It's hard. A lot of the things that I've said on this video are really hard to say. But maybe if it can help someone, it's worth it, isn't it? I'm sure I'm not the only person to scoff down quarter-pounder meals with a fillet of fish in the back of the car park, hating myself doing it. Anyway, that's all I can think of. If you've got any questions or anything, leave me a message. I'll answer whatever I can.